Is going on, guys? My name's Long Sensation, and today what I got for you guys is a very interesting video, because in this video we're going to be comparing the muzzle brake attachment against the Deadeye perk. Now, before I get into this, I just want to say that this video could be really complicated. It's got quite a lot of maths involved, so hopefully I'm going to try and make it as simplistic as possible. I've used specific weapons for different reasons, because of course it's really kind of easy to do the math and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys will understand. First we're going to be looking at the Deadeye perk and then the muzzle brake perk, actually looking at what these both do, and then we'll compare them both, and then I'll give you guys the ultimate breakdown and of course my personal opinion. The gameplay in the background will be a series of chem strikes in which will be used for my gun breakdown series the next and up and coming weeks, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. But anyway guys, let's get down to what both the Deadeye perk and the muzzle brake attachment actually does. So first of all, the Deadeye perk is probably the most interesting perk within the game. Now the reason for that is because this perk is all based on probability. First of all, if you actually do get a Deadeye bullet with Deadeye, the increased damage of that bullet will be 40%. Now this is standard, this will not change, it will not increase nor decrease. It's 40% for every Deadeye bullet fired. Now what does make this perk interesting is that the increased probability of your bullets becoming Deadeye increases with your kill streak. So first of all, once you spawn, once you start your kill streak, once you have 0 kills, you'll have a 12.5%, which is 1 in 8 chance of your bullets becoming Deadeye. Once you get a 1 kill streak, that will then increase to 16.67%, which of course is not really that good. These are really not that significant. That will be 1 in 6. So 1 in 8 or 1 in 6 isn't that significant. It usually takes around 3 to 5 bullets to kill a person. Therefore, it isn't really that useful once you actually get a 1 kill streak. However, once you get a 2 kill streak, the probability will increase to 33.33%, which is 1 in 3. Once you get a 3 kill streak, it will increase to 40%, and then once you get a 4 kill streak, it will then increase to 50%. Now this will not change if you go on a 40 kill streak, for instance. It will still be 50%. The probability will not change after a 4 kill streak. So this is going to be the mark that we're going to be using, just simply because it's really simple to use in our calculations, and it is a really nice number to use. Basically, it is based on probability. It will not be, coordinated. It will not be, for instance, 1 Deadeye bullet, then it won't be a Deadeye bullet, then 1 Deadeye bullet, etc, etc. Basically, it's like flipping a coin. You could flip a coin 10 times in a row and it could land on heads 10 times, and the probability of that landing on heads once again would of course be 50%. So that's the sum that we're going to be using, and now we're going to move on to muzzle brake. Now, the muzzle brake attachment is definitely a really simplistic attachment to talk about, because all this actually does is increase your range by 20%. Despite what the game says, it does not increase your damage, but it increases your range, which of course will give you a higher damage at a longer range, and that's why the game says it increases your damage. Now, this is why I'm actually comparing these to one another. Especially, I see a lot of people running around without the muzzle brake, but with Deadeye, and I also see people running around with muzzle brake and not Deadeye, so I thought I'd compare these. So let's just get down to the comparisons. I've used 3 different guns: the SC-2010, the P226 pistol, and the MTAR-X submachine gun. Now, these, of course, are just 3 guns within the game. We could, do a wide test on every different gun as well, which will give us better results and stuff like that. But just for the core principle of this video, we're just going to be using those 3 weapons. So first of all, guys, we're going to be looking at the SC-2010 assault rifle. Now, this range is really been specific for this test. Basically, at this range, the bullet damage is at 20. Even if the person moved back any further, if you engaged an engagement any further than this distance, the bullet damage would still be at 20, which of course is 5 bullets, because 20 times 5 equals 100. Therefore, at this range, you will kill someone within 5 bullets. As well as this, it's really easy to calculate the bullet damage for a Deadeye bullet. If we add 40% onto this, it would mean that it would be a 28 bullet damage per shot if that bullet is a Deadeye bullet. So I did a few tests with both Deadeye and Muzzle Brake at this distance, and I found out something quite surprising. Basically, at this distance with Deadeye, you can actually kill someone with 4 bullets. However, you need 3 of those 4 bullets to actually be a Deadeye bullet. Therefore, if we do some kind of simple calculations, 4 bullets with a 50% probability for a Deadeye bullet equals 16 possible outcomes with a 4 in 16 probability that will be the combination of bullets that we need in order to get that kill. That means we've got a 25% chance of killing that person at this distance with 4 bullets. Now this is a kind of a really small number. Basically 1 in 4 engagements, if you want to look at it like that, would be a 4 bullet kill. However, I then did a test with Muzzle Brake, which increases your range by 20%. This would mean that at this range it would deal around a 25 to 28 bullet damage, which means that you'll be able to kill people at this range with the SC2010 with 4 bullets. No matter what, 100% of the time you will kill someone with 4 bullets. However, you may be arguing that you use Deadeye because you use a silencer. Now this is where it gets even more interesting. Silencer does not decrease your damage, but it decreases your range. Therefore, we can actually calculate. Once again, I did some more tests. At this range it would still take 5 bullets to kill because we cannot get any less damage at this range. And of course this would mean that it will take 3 of 4 bullets once again to actually be Deadeye bullets in order to get a 4 bullet kill at this range, which of course once again is a 25% chance. So this is kind of the breakdown for the SE2010. Of course it would change at different distances. I thought this range was really appropriate because this is kind of a lot of engagements, distances that you would come into because the maps on this game are really big. So the advantage on this does actually go to the Muzzle Brake. Because quite simply you're going to get a 4 bullet kill at this range every single time. Now guys, moving on to the P226 pistol, I thought once again that this range was definitely appropriate for this weapon. This is a range where you might come into a lot of engagements with this pistol, and I then did some tests once again. It took 4 bullets to kill normally, 3 bullets to kill with Muzzle Brake, and then I tested Deadeye and it took 3 bullets to kill. However, one of these 3 bullets must be a Deadeye bullet, and with 8 possible outcomes and a 7 out of 8 probability that one of these 3 bullets will be Deadeye, therefore an 87.5% chance that you will kill someone with 3 bullets at this distance. The 12.5% chance isn't really that significant that you won't kill someone in 3 bullets, however it is always still a possibility. I then tested this with the silencer. It took 5 bullets to kill at this range with a silencer, and then I tested it with Deadeye and it took 4 bullets to kill with the silencer with Deadeye. However, once again, 3 of these 4 bullets must be a Deadeye bullet. So if we go back to the SC2010 probability, there's 16 possible outcomes with a 4 out of 16 probability that 3 of these 4 bullets will be Deadeye, therefore a 25% chance of killing someone with 4 bullets at this range. This means at this specific range for this weapon, both the Deadeye perk and the Muzzle Brake attachment are really similar. However, once again, I would advise you guys to use the Muzzle Brake attachment, as you're going to be guaranteed a kill, 1 less bullet every single time. If you're going to be using a silencer with this weapon, then of course the Deadeye perk is definitely advised, as you've got a 25% probability of killing someone with 1 less bullet. However, you've got to remember that this does take up a lot of perk points, so definitely only use this if you're running the specialist bonus. Now finally moving on to the MTAR X, I tested this at this range and it took 4 bullets to kill normally. I then tested this with the Muzzle Brake attachment and it still took 4 bullets to kill at this range. Now the reason for that is because the bullet damage minimum is at 25 and it's all kind of calibrated with the range. Basically, say this was at 30 meters, the bullet damage ended at 20 meters, at 25, and then 20 meters, 30 meters, 40, etc. was all at 25. So therefore, even if I decreased or increased this by 20%, it would be still 4 bullets to kill at this distance. I then tested this with the Deadeye perk, and it actually did take 3 bullets to kill with Deadeye. However, all 3 of these bullets must be a Deadeye bullet, therefore 8 possible outcomes with 3 bullets, meaning that you have a 1 in 8 chance of actually killing someone within 3 bullets, which is a 12.5% chance. I then tested this with the silencer at this distance. The standard silencer did take 4 bullets to kill, even with 2 of those bullets actually being a Deadeye bullet. I then tested this repeatedly to try and get 3 bullets with all Deadeye in a row, and it did actually take 3 shots to kill, because of course there's 3 outcomes of firing 3 bullets, 1 in 8 chance of all 3 being Deadeye. The range did not impact this bullet damage at this distance, therefore once again a 13% chance of killing in 3 bullets. So the bottom line for this weapon is that Deadeye of course does have a slight advantage. However, if you're willing to spend the 5 perk points, then definitely do so, because at this range it did not really have any significance, as well as the muzzle brake. So guys, the conclusion of the muzzle brake attachment versus the Deadeye perk is that the muzzle brake attachment is far better, especially if you do not use a silencer. If you're one of those people that run around with red dot sights and extended mags as well as Deadeye, then just simply buy the extra attachment perk and buy yourself the muzzle brake. This will also allow you to play around with 2 perk points as well, which of course can be spent on a more useful perk that will give you the bigger advantage. However, if you're one of those people that run with a silencer and you'd like to go for a chem strike for instance, I advise that you use this with the specialist bonus and put it as either your 2nd or your 3rd perk within your 3 perk points. Now the reason for this is because once you actually get to either the 2nd or the 3rd unlock, you'll basically be already on a 5 or above kill streak, and therefore have the Deadeye perk to its full advantage. But anyway guys, that has been the conclusion of this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and please click on one of the videos on screen that are coming up in a second. But anyway guys, I've been Long Sensation, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys later.